Okay, we're going to look at graphing systems of linear equations, or excuse me, inequalities. You graphed single linear inequalities before, and it was a case of just drawing the line as if it was an equation and then shading above or below it. So now what you're going to do, instead of drawing one linear inequality, you're going to be drawing two and shading two of them, and the common or overlapping area will be your solution area. This will make sense after we look at an example or two. Okay, just start and make sure they're in ymx plus b form so you can graph them. And again, you'll graph the line like you did in the previous chapter. If it's or equals to, it's a solid line. If it's just less than or greater than, it'll be a dashed line. Then you'll have to decide to graph above or below it. And then you'll take the second equation and do the same thing. So let's look at an example. We'll start with the first equation. So our y-intercept is 3, down 2, right 3. And you look at this sign, and this tells you it's going to be a solid line because it's or equals to. Now you have to decide, are you going to shade above or below? Well, less than, you're going to be shading below it. And what I advise you to do is just draw your lines at an angle for the shaded area. Doesn't matter what angle. Okay, so we've graphed the one inequality. Now we'll go to this one. The y-intercept, -2. And the slope of 2 is up 2 over 1. And this line will be dashed, as noted over here. If it's just less than or greater than and not or equal to, you do a dashed line. Now to decide which way to shade this, well, greater than, that will be all this up in here that's above the line 2x minus 2. So just draw these lines at a different angle than you drew the other ones. You'll see why in a moment. Now the reason I told you to draw the lines like this is this area where the lines crisscross. All this area in here is the solution area. It's much easier than trying to get out colored pencils and getting into that. So if you draw them at different angles, you'll know the area where they crisscross. This is your solution area. So I'll just label it. Let's try another one. As you've seen in the past, it's not always in ymx plus b form, but this won't be too bad. We'll put the first one into our slope-intercept form. And we have y is less than -2/5 x plus 2. That's one equation we'll graph. Let's go ahead and put this one in form. So one step will get y by itself. So you simply have y is greater than -3. Okay, let's graph this. Y-intercept is at 2. Slope is -2/5. We're simply going down 2 over 5. Or you could go up 2 and left 5. And you look at this sign and say, okay, I know that's going to be a dashed line. Now your decision is to shade above or below. Well, less sand, we're going to shade down here below. And the other inequality, y is greater than -3, you simply go down to -3. If it was y equals to -3, we draw a horizontal line, and we will draw a horizontal line here. But because it is not or equals to, we will make a dashed line. Okay, at this point you have to decide whether to shade above or below the line. Greater than, you're going to shade up above. And as you see, the area where the lines crisscross, this wedge right here is the solution area. And that's all there is to doing systems of inequalities.